In the bustling heart of Southeast Asia, two nations stand side by side, Malaysia and Singapore. Though separated by a narrow strait and connected by bridges that bear the weight of thousands of daily commuters, the economic realities and opportunities on either side have diverged dramatically over the decades. For many Malaysians, the allure of Singapore has become more than a simple career move. It's a life-changing decision, a journey shaped by historical ties, modern policy shifts, and deeply personal motivations. Unraveling the untold story of why Malaysians really work in Singapore requires us to look beyond the headlines and statistics, diving into the complex interplay of economics, social aspirations, and recent transformative developments that continue to shape this cross-border migration. To begin, let's consider the scale of this movement. As of 2020, over 1.13 million Malaysians were calling Singapore home, making them the largest foreign community in the city-state. Each day, tens of thousands more make the commute across the Johor-Singapore Causeway, their lives straddling two worlds. For generations, Malaysians have looked to Singapore as a beacon of opportunity, drawn by higher wages, stable employment, and the prospect of a better life. Yet, behind these numbers lies a much richer narrative, one that has evolved significantly in recent years. At the heart of this migration is a simple economic truth. Singapore offers higher pay. A 2022 study revealed that about two-thirds of Malaysians working in Singapore earn a gross monthly salary between $1,500 and $3,590. Nearly 19% of them earn between $3,600 and $9,999, a range that, when converted to Malaysian ringgit at the prevailing exchange rate of approximately 3.52, translates into a substantial income boost. For many, this is not just a matter of earning more, but of transforming their family's standard of living. A Malaysian earning $2,000 in Singapore would bring home more than £7,000, a figure that often dwarfs what they could expect in their hometown, even with similar qualifications. This favorable exchange rate is more than just numbers on a currency board. It's a daily reality that shapes choices, sacrifices, and dreams. For some, the difference means being able to afford a home, fund children's education, or support aging parents. It means financial stability in a world of uncertainty. And that stability is only part of the story. Equally important are the working conditions. Singapore's reputation for efficiency, order, and professionalism stands in contrast to the often less predictable labor climate in Malaysia. From prompt payment of wages to structured career progression, the city-state's corporate culture appeals to those seeking more than just monetary gain. It's about dignity, respect, and the opportunity to grow in a system where merit is rewarded. Yet, if this were the whole story, the phenomenon would be static. Instead, recent developments have added new dimensions to this age-old migration. In March 2025, Singapore announced sweeping changes to its foreign workforce policies, measures designed to retain experienced workers and address labor shortages. Notably, the city-state removed employment duration limits for work permit holders, allowing them to continue working without the previous time constraints. At the same time, the maximum employment age was raised from 60 to 63 years. For the many Malaysians working in Singapore, these changes mean greater job security and the prospect of longer, more stable careers. For those considering making the move, it signals that Singapore values their experience and is willing to adapt policies to keep them in the workforce. Such policy shifts reflect deeper economic realities. Like many developed economies, Singapore faces demographic challenges, a slowing birth rate and an aging population. To address labor shortages, the government has increasingly turned to its neighbors, a move that benefits Malaysians seeking better prospects while supporting Singapore's continued growth. In this symbiotic relationship, both nations find themselves intertwined more closely than ever. But the story doesn't end with Singapore's open doors. In January 2025, a landmark agreement was signed between Malaysia and Singapore, formalizing the establishment of a special economic zone in Johor. This cross-border initiative aims to enhance investment, streamline the movement of goods and people, and create approximately 20,000 skilled jobs within its first 5 years. The hope is that these new opportunities will stem the tide of migration, offering Malaysians compelling reasons to build their futures at home, close to family and roots. The Special Economic Zone is more than just a policy experiment. It is a recognition by both governments that the flow of talent and labor across their shared border is both inevitable and potentially beneficial. By fostering collaboration and creating new career pathways, Malaysia hopes to retain more of its skilled workers, while Singapore stands to gain from a deeper partnership with its neighbor. Yet, the Malaysian government remains concerned about what is commonly referred to as brain drain. When skilled and semi-skilled workers leave for Singapore, Malaysia loses talent crucial for its own development. To address this, policymakers have begun exploring new strategies. Deputy Minister for Investment, Trade, and Industry, Lu Chintong, recently suggested that Malaysian firms should consider offering wages equivalent to 2/3 of what Malaysians earn in Singapore. The rationale is clear. While matching Singapore's salaries is a tall order, closing the gap could make returning home more appealing for those who value proximity to family or a familiar cultural environment. Recognizing the vulnerabilities faced by Malaysians working abroad, Malaysia is also studying the implementation of a social security insurance scheme for its citizens employed in Singapore. This measure would address welfare concerns, offering a safety net for workers who may face illness, injury, or unemployment far from home. Such initiatives reflect a growing awareness that cross-border migration is not simply an economic issue, but a matter of social justice and national resilience. But for the individuals making the daily journey, the decision to work in Singapore is never purely financial. Beneath the surface, there are stories of aspiration and sacrifice. For some, it's about pursuing a dream career in fields like technology, finance, or healthcare, sectors where Singapore offers world-class opportunities and training. For others, it's about supporting families, saving for the future, or escaping economic hardship. Many make the difficult choice to leave behind loved ones, enduring long hours and exhausting commutes for the promise of a better tomorrow. There are also subtle social factors at play. Singapore's multicultural society, with its blend of Chinese, Malay, Indian, and global influences, offers a cosmopolitan environment that appeals to many Malaysians. The proximity means that cultural ties remain strong, with food, festivals, and friendships bridging the gap. For those who choose to settle permanently, Singapore's reputation for safety, cleanliness, and education is a powerful draw. Yet, not all is rosy. The untold story includes the challenges faced by Malaysians in Singapore. Many must grapple with the reality of being outsiders, navigating complex immigration rules, coping with separation from family, and facing the pressure to succeed in a competitive environment. The removal of employment duration limits, while a boon for job security, also means that some may find it harder to leave, caught between the steady paychecks of Singapore and the pull of home. For Malaysia, the challenge is to turn brain drain into brain gain. The establishment of the Johor Economic Zone is a step in this direction, offering the promise of high-skilled jobs and economic revitalization. The hope is that, over time, Malaysians will see their home country as a place of opportunity, not just a stepping stone to Singapore. But the reality is complex. For many, the choice to work in Singapore is about more than just numbers. It is about hope, ambition, and the pursuit of a better life. The story is not one of simple economics, but of human aspiration. It is written in the early morning commutes across the causeway, in the remittances sent home to families, and in the sacrifices made for children's futures. As policies shift and new opportunities emerge, the landscape will continue to evolve. The untold story of Malaysians working in Singapore is one of resilience, adaptation, and the relentless pursuit of betterment. It is a story shaped by history, economics, and the bonds of family, and it is far from over. For those who look only at the statistics, the migration may seem inevitable. But for the individuals making the journey, each decision is weighed against hopes, fears, and the realities of life on both sides of the strait. Whether driven by higher wages, stable jobs, or the promise of a brighter future, the motivations are as diverse as the people themselves. In the end, the true reasons Malaysians work in Singapore cannot be captured in a single narrative. It is a tapestry woven from countless threads, economic, social, and personal. It is the story of two nations, forever linked by geography and destiny, and of millions of lives shaped by the choices made each day. As Malaysia and Singapore continue to collaborate and innovate, the lines between them may blur, but the dreams and ambitions of their people will always drive the story forward. The untold story is not just about why Malaysians work in Singapore, but about how they are shaping the future of two nations, one opportunity at a time.